And
Yep.
squeeze that question in when you can.
I will do
Um,
so.
okay, welcome everybody to the March 10th board meeting. We'll start right off with um, approving the minutes from the last board meeting for February 24th. The board members have been given copies of the minutes from that meeting. Does anybody have any questions, comments, additions, deletions, what have you regarding those minutes? If not, and they look all right to me, I didn't see anything that needed to be corrected or changed or even commented on at this point. So if everybody agrees, I will accept a motion to approve the minutes as they are with no changes.
Move it.
Okay, I'll
Second.
look, we have a second, so I'll call the vote. Okay, Danielle?
Yep.
Okay, Bob?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
And I'll say yes as well. So Linda, the minutes will stand as is, and we'll move right into our first public hearing, which is for the micro enterprise grant. If attendees are here, like Jarrett and Kinley, if you are here for the
It kicked
public
you off.
public hearing for the micro enterprise grant, we need to have your full name, please. Are you muted?
They are muted.
Okay. Unmute yourself, please. Well, when Kinley unmutes and tells us the name, we'll take note of it, but I will just keep reading about this public hearing. This is the first of two public hearings as required under the Community Development Block Grant Program to be held prior to submission of any Community Development Block Grant application, which is what we're planning to do. So this purpose of the hearing is to provide general information to the public if they don't know about it already, and to obtain citizens' views or comments regarding the CDBG program, to respond to any of those, and to respond to and answer any questions that might arise. There is a citizen participation plan handout available. If anybody wants that doesn't have it already, you can contact Toma Development at 607-753-1433 and they'll get you a copy. Comments or questions can be written or verbal submitted to Mayor David Downs at the village office here on Liberty Street in the village. So Kinley, are you unmuted yet?
No, they're not.
Okay, so I'll just keep going. Jarrett, okay. Yep. Do you have any? Well, you're here about the other public hearing, but if you had any comments about this one, you could make it as well. The lady from Toma is actually not here yet.
No, she is. Linda's here.
Oh, Linda. Hi, Linda. Didn't know you were signed in yet.
I'm here.
I've just gone through the reason for the public hearing, and we've gotten to the point where, as you see, Jarrett is here for the other public hearing. Kinley, we're not sure because he or she is muted, and we don't know the full name and actually what they're here for. So we've reached out, and we don't have an answer there.
And Linda can just note that on the sign-in sheet, she can put Jarrett's name and Kinley's name and note that you don't have.
I know Jared's last name. I just
We
don't
know
know
Jared's
Kinley.
last name. He's just not here for the micro enterprise. He's here for the sewer benefit assessment
Okay.
hearing.
We should have any public that actually is.
Okay,
there.
we can put Jared's name down just so you have another name, but
Right.
he
And
doesn't.
they don't need to make comments or anything. They,
No, I don't think he intends to, but he's welcome to.
okay.
Okay, and Kinley can't make any comments at this point due to being muted, and I don't know if there's anybody actually at that station right now or not. But what I want to do is answer questions or take comments. But if we don't have any, Jared, did you have something to say? Your name is up on my screen.
Well, it says, no, I didn't have any comments
Oh.
on it. Sounds interesting, but I haven't looked into it at all, so I'd hate to ask questions on it when I really just need to do research on it first.
Okay, well, what we're going to do, just so you know, there's going to be a news release tomorrow. There's information about it on our website. And as I mentioned that if you want a plan handout, Toma could be reached and send you one. But I would recommend that you check in with us at the village subsequent to this public hearing and check the website and or, the news release, and you'll find out what's going on here.
Right.
We what this is, it's called the 2020 CDBG because it was supposed to be administered last year, but it fell apart. But we're still using. But when they reopened it, it's still called the 2021 2020 program. And the deadline for getting these pre-applications in is April 1st. So to have a good proposal, we were hoping to get some feedback here, but we have basically a couple weeks to get these things in. And Linda Armstrong, who is with us now, is administering it from Thomas' point of view, and she's the one with she's the expert on this, and she's helping us right along. I guess because we have such a heavy agenda tonight, Linda, do you have any, Linda Armstrong, do you have anything to add to that? Because I'm going to close this hearing and move on to the resolution.
No, what you have done so far meets the requirements of the program and enables you to submit an application for micro enterprise or any other CDBG purpose. So you
okay.
met all the requirements.
Okay, we will be doing that. Now, the next thing I will do is that say this public hearing is closed. Okay. We are going to have a resolution tonight, which is a certified resolution for the CDBG Community Micro Enterprise Grant. I will briefly read it and then ask for one of the trustees to make the resolution, move the resolution. Whereas the Village of Whitney Point intends to file a community development block grant application for funding consideration with the Office of Community Renewal to fund a micro enterprise assistance program, and whereas funds for the program will be requested from the Office of Community Renewal in the form of a grant, therefore be it resolved that David Downs, as mayor of the Village of Whitney Point, is hereby authorized and directed to file an application for funds from the New York State Office of Community Renewal in an amount not to exceed $300,000, and upon approval of said request, to enter into and execute a grant agreement with the state for financial assistance to the village for the Micro Enterprise Assistance Program, and, if appropriate, take actions necessary to implement the proposed program grant upon approval from the state. Is anybody willing to make that resolution?
Move it.
Okay, Bob moved it. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second,
Okay, I'm going to call the vote. Danielle,
yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
I'll also say yes. So we will go forward with that resolution, and we will try to get some more names for you, Linda, but the resolution is official, and we'll do that. We'll use the news release that you sent along. We'll send that in tomorrow, and keep you posted, and we'll work with you on that. So thank you for all your help.
Great.
It worked very smoothly. I wish we had more people for that public hearing tonight, but we can get the information to them otherwise.
Okay, great. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you for coming. You're welcome to stay, or you could go now, whatever you want to do. Thank you for
I
coming,
I can
Linda.
hear my husband doing the dishes, so maybe I should
Oh,
stay.
well,
for-
oh, there you go. There's your answer right there. Okay,
Okay, thank you. Nice to
okay,
see you.
thank you.
Nice to see you, Linda.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Now, the next public hearing is for the sewer debt assessment. Um, The sewer debt changes each year based on the agreement that the village went into when, well, I'll open the public hearing. I have to open the public hearing for the sewer debt assessment. The sewer debt changes each year based on the agreement that the village went into when borrowing the monies needed to complete the sewer project. This year, the debt is, it currently stands at $210,883. We have several different bonds here. The debt continues until, well, for phase one, it's August 12th, 2038. Phase two, September 26th, 2042. The bonds are slightly different, but the phase one bond changes, the amount changes each year due to interest levels. Phase two is a constant debt. It's constantly $5,550 each year until retired in 2042. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're here. Property owners have been sent as they are every year the sewer benefit assessment to see if it's changed, what the change is, and usually it doesn't amount to a whole lot, but you're welcome to ask questions about it or participate or say that there's something wrong with the evaluation, whatever it is. So I guess, Jarrett, you're here for that. So for the business property. So what do you want to say about that?
I guess it's just mostly excuse my ignorance because I just, I got the letter and I just, for the most part, didn't quite understand what I was looking at or the difference from year to year in the numbers.
Right. Well, like I just said, it'd be a small difference, but you'd have to see last year's sewer, and this appears on the June tax bill as a separate line item. The thing is, you property, all the properties got them last year, and they get them every year, and this would be the time to, you know, uh, ask about it or complain about it. Probably, we could tell you the difference between last year and this year. Jason, do you have that information handy?
No, this does not archive the info. We'd have to go.
The
Okay.
rate last year was 146 and change, and this year it's 149 and change. If I gave you that form earlier today, David, it's got the examples on there. So this year's rate is 149.67 per unit. And your units are assigned by the type of facility and acreage, et cetera, that it is, Jarrett.
Okay. So nothing has changed
No,
other than,
the unit cost.
okay,
And that's based on the bond payment that we've got to make. And that changes every year a little bit.
Based
The
on
overall bond went up about $3,000 this year, a little more than that. So,
okay, I see.
Yeah, so for the exact amount, and we won't do it right now, but we could tell you that exact amount.
that would have been in the letter that he
Yeah,
received.
right.
And that was
Oh.
an estimate, and that is if nothing changes after tonight's hearing.
Okay,
If something changes during this hearing, your dollar amount could change based upon that change,
right.
as is everybody's, okay?
And I
Okay.
unfortunately, I don't have that in front of me. I should have it in front of me, but I don't.
No, that's all right, but as long as you understand that you're not, your formula hasn't changed.
Right.
Each property was evaluated based on what type of property it was, how big it was, what it's used for, and so on and so forth. That was set about around 2007,
Okay.
and we've run forward with it every year. But
Okay.
if you have further questions and you find that, and you could feel free to get a hold of us anytime down at the office.
Yeah, call me
Okay.
anytime, Jarrett, and I can try to try to look back through last year's stuff and give you the exact from what it was last year based on the taxes. But I can't get into that while I'm doing this meeting. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Guessing how my father kept his records, I'm sure I have it someplace. I just
I'm
don't
sure
know where to
I'm
look.
sure that he did. I'm sure he's got it
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, very good.
So
Is
does
there-
that pretty much answer everything for you for tonight?
That does answer everything. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
quite welcome.
Thanks for coming, Jarrett.
Of course.
Kinley, do you have a question regarding sewer debt assessment?
Do you want, Linda, do you want to point out the request you had from Charlie?
Yes, I do. I had one additional call this afternoon from a taxpayer with a parcel, Charlie Manassi 028.13-1-28. It is an 8.51 acre parcel of property on Route 11. It's the empty lot behind the building that used to have the liquor store. And that parcel of property, he is saying that there's approximately 5.5 to 6 acres that are not usable due to the floodplain and the flood zone. And so he's asking for relief on that property. I don't have information in front of me, whether it's actually in floodplain, flood zone, how far that goes, how much of the property is that way.
According to my understanding, it's already been listed or it's been regarded as vacant property. There is no provision, as far as I'm aware, as far as factoring in whether something's in a floodplain or not.
Right.
The whole formula is based on whether or not the property receives a benefit
Benefit.
from the sewer.
Right, exactly.
So in that regard, I don't see how this would be applicable or should even be regarded for an adjustment. Lynn, I have the right property up, right?
Correct. Absolutely right property.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. I have not been notified here in the office of any other complaints or questions for this public hearing, David. So I'm not sure about this person named Kinley. Again,
Are they still on?
they are still on and I've asked them 3 times to unmute. I don't know if they're here for this public hearing or if they're just here for the meeting in general. I don't know.
Well,
that answer.
until we can hear from them, we don't know, and we'll just have to keep going forward
Correct.
with what we're doing. And regarding Charlie's request and what Jason had said, it seems reasonable to me what Jason said. I don't know much more to say about it. If Nate has a comment, he's welcome to make it. But the thing is, I guess we're going to treat his call to you as a formal request, or we can either just not treat it as a formal request and have you get back to him via phone. But he didn't show up at the hearing here, so I
But he
don't.
wasn't, as I said earlier, he wasn't sure if he was going to make it to this meeting, so that's why he contacted me to
Right.
bring it forward for him.
Right.
So,
Well, we can say we're looking at it just to confirm all these things, but I mean, it's vacant property and it's listed as such. Whether it has any future potential usage is maybe questionable, but I don't think we can act on his request until we clarify that.
And then given the nature of how much of the village is actually in a floodplain and, which floodplain maps do you use? I wouldn't even want to.
Well, that's the thing. Those things are still, they haven't been finalized in the last 15 years. It's been a mess. So basically, and with FEMA when I was involved in it before, about, let's say about 8 to 10, 12 years, the FEMA had made a lot of errors, and they were going to change their process and this, that, and the other thing, and the whole thing, generally speaking, was put on hold. And I'm not sure exactly where it stands now. Let's put it this way: has it been in the news lately?
I think Jason's right that it's it's vacant property. It has a benefit having the sewer through there. He has filled in some of that property to bring it above the floodplain. Conceivably, he could do so for more of that property, and therefore it seems to me to be reasonable that the benefit of the sewer is benefiting that property, even though he may consider it being a little bit too close to the river for his likes right now. He has filled some of that in.
Well, okay, I agree with that. Do we need to make a motion to not make change, to leave it as it is and not make a change, and make it in the form of a motion? Do we need to do that? What do you think, Nate? Should we have a motion to say we don't agree to make a change at this time?
I think you don't need a motion at all. I mean, there's
Okay, I
nothing that
didn't-
you're required to do.
Right. Okay, I didn't think we did. I just wanted to. Okay. Well, we're not. I would say. I think the inclination of the board is that we listen to the concern and we address it. We've thought about it, but we're not going to make any change at this point. If everybody's good with that, I think we don't have any other properties that have come forward.
Nope, nobody's in the waiting room.
So I will close the sewer debt assessment public hearing with that. Now, the next item of business is to return to the refuse bids that we looked at and we opened at the last board meeting on February 24th. We have a representative here tonight from Bert
Mr.
Adams.
Mayor,
Yes,
did we act on the CDBG?
Yes, we did already, Bob.
yes,
We did vote.
Yes, we did
Yes,
the
we did.
resolution.
I didn't think we had voted.
yes,
Yeah,
I called
we
the
did.
vote on that. You voted yes. Okay. We have a representative here from Bert Adams, and I don't think there's any other representatives
Nope.
from Blue Moose or anybody else relating to the refuse bids. So we wanted to table it last time to further discuss it. We could do that tonight, further discuss it and make the decision. Um, I will start off with a comment that um, uh, from my point of view, it was clear that the bids were quite separate, quite different. The Blue Moose bid was higher, but the other thing is it was more complicated bid. There were a lot more contingencies, as you'll recall. The Bert Adams bid was a simpler bid. Uh, it did have a contingency, which would indicate that they would only do refuse pickup every other week. Both firms had indicated they'd be going to the new containers, so there was no difference there. The Blue Moose bid was a lower bid, and there weren't any other contingencies such as a diesel floating rate and the possibility of changing the delivery, the pickup date, and things like that. But and there was an adder for the bulk pickup that put the price, $3,000 higher, but it's still lower than the other ones. So that's my comment. And anybody want to expound on that or make their other comments? Feel free.
I just want to be sure we're picking the refuse up every week. It's the
Yes.
recycling would be every other week, right?
That is correct, Bob.
I think David had said refuse one time when he meant recycling. That's
Oh,
all.
I'm sorry. I've been doing that more
I just
lately.
wanted to make sure I hadn't misread the thing.
No, I
I'm
tried
0
to,
for 1 already tonight, so.
sometimes I talk too fast when I'm trying to get through these things, and I apologize.
Just for clarification on the, we call it EOW every other week.
Right.
Most haulers, at least in the Northeast, have gone or are going in this direction. It is a way for us to have less traffic on the road and save the village money. To date, here in March, 60% of our clients are every other week recycling, and our target is to be 100% by the end of the year.
And at this point, you stated in the last meeting that the recycle would be the big 95-gallon canister, correct?
Correct.
So,
Correct. Which is plenty.
which is more than enough, should be more than enough to hold recycling for a residential home for 2 weeks.
As I stated in the first meeting, my wife and I have lived in Town of Union, well, since the early 90s. And all that time, we had a 13-gallon, then it was upgraded to a 22-gallon container. So this is 4 to 5 times that size. They wheel about very easily on 10-inch wheels. They have a lid. They're built to be stored outside. They're very rugged.
Very good. Very good. At this point, is anybody willing to make a motion to accept one of the bids?
I will make a motion that we accept the bid from Bird Adams Disposal.
Okay, looking for a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, I'm going to call the vote. Danielle,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes,
I'll vote yes as well. So Chris, you've won the bid.
Perfect.
There will be details to go over and contract to sign, as you know, all that stuff, but you have won the bid based on the information at hand. And so congratulations with that. And we'll be in touch because we've got a couple months before it starts,
Sure.
which is June, 1st of June.
First.
And so we'll iron out the details, give you a list of the pickups, all that sort of thing,
Of course.
all the normal thing. Questions on both sides and how we're going to handle things like the bulk pickup.
Absolutely. And I wanted to, Linda asked me, I called Linda this morning to ask her to include me on the Zoom conference. And she asked me a couple of questions that I'm prepared to answer. We've acquired new side tipper trucks, and we will in fact I confirmed with Bert this morning after I spoke with Linda, if awarded the bid, we will be using the side arm tipper truck and trucks to pick up. Also, when we deliver our cans, each stop will have a bag with instructions about how to place the containers near the curb and not to put them next to things like mailboxes and fire hydrants and stuff like that, because that's a very big, powerful hydraulic arm. And when that comes down and grabs the can, it goes up, it takes everything with it. So you don't want to put it next to your mailbox.
So there definitely will be a learning curve, but we hope that most people would pay attention to
Oh yeah,
the
people love
instructions.
them. Yeah. All right, I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
I'm
and
sure we'll be chatting, Chris.
There
We'll be
we
in
go.
touch. Thank
Yep,
you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye now.
Okay, very good. Got through that one. So the next order of business is new member approval for the fire department. Now this, first what happens is the fire department approves these new members. And once the fire department approves it, it comes to the village board for the village board to approve. So it's, the members, the new member's name is Haley Rose Dickel. Okay, he or she lives on Route 79, um, someplace 7669 Route 79. So close enough to the um, fire station here. Um, uh, she's a young one, and what I will read is why she wants to do this. It says, after 2 years volunteering or more, I am going to college to do firefighter 1 and 2, and then go to fire academy. Move south as a paid firefighter. And what are her strengths? Dedication, team player. Okay. Not much else to report from the form because there's so many questions that we really aren't allowed to ask anymore, really, for employment and stuff. And so, but that's I think that's all that we need to know. So, uh, does anybody want to make a motion to approve Haley?
I'll move it.
I'll
Have a-
second.
Okay, I'll call the vote. Danielle,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Jason.
Yes,
Okay, Linda, we can tell Greg that this is done. The new member approved. Now, I will make the comment that in recent years, we haven't had the influx of new members that a volunteer fire department really needs to keep things moving. So it's good to see one once in a while. Okay,
Now,
now,
Kinley is no longer muted. Is Kinley there? They're not muted anymore, but is Kinley there?
so we don't know Kinley's full name or why Kinley
Is
has
even here.
signed on. So if Kinley pipes up, we'll pay attention. But otherwise, I guess we'll just keep moving. Does anybody have any old business? Well, naturally, the mayor does, but I'll keep it short. It has to do with LWRP. I will report we had our kickoff meeting, which went very well for the WAC, which is the Waterfront Advisory Committee, with the WAC. And there were a number of us on the committee. We had a nice meeting with Toma and the Department of State and some community members, which is available if somebody else wants to see the meeting. It was recorded. We have copies as well as copies of the original concept drawings. They're available. They're available and for anybody to review. And so we're off and running. Lucas Rayleigh did a great job. He was on the meeting as well as Rich Cunningham and Jamie Reppert from Department of State. And we don't know when our next meeting will be, but they will advise us and we'll go forward from there. Okay, that's it for old business. Does anybody have any new business? Naturally, the mayor does. Okay. The New York State burn ban this year starts on March 16th. Be aware. The New York State burn ban, March 16th. We've signed the agreement to replace 9 post-top streetlights with LED lights. It's going to cost the village a total of $310.20. Unfortunately, the streetlights that they're NYSEG's ordering them and they're going to put them in. Actually, it's a subcontractor. They have put them in. But unfortunately, they're made in Texas. So there's a lead time of about 6 to 8 weeks. But we're not in any hurry. And that's when it comes in, they'll put them in and that's that. The one sticker here is that I found out after we did this that the minimum to get award money and points is to replace 10 streetlights. So Scott's running around the village seeing if we can find another streetlight, but I don't think there is another one. I think NICEAG agreed that that's all there was. But if another one can be found, we can try to bump this up and get some more. But in any case, to fix these, we'll reduce our electric bill and it'll save money anyways. Um, Another piece of
Dave-
business.
Dave,
Pardon?
I'm sorry, can I ask you a question? I know this isn't
Sure.
public.
That's all right. You're welcome.
Did you identify one on Park Street that was not working? Or
Um,
had Scott identified one?
Opposed to, I'm not sure exactly, Jared. I'll ask Scott in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. But maybe
Jared, are
that's
you just
maybe
talking about a light that's not working?
Yeah,
Which end of Park Street, Jared?
it's on the,
Towards the store or towards your mom's house?
sorry, towards my parents' house. Yeah, my mom's.
down towards Mill Street there.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll
Right.
check it. We'll check that out, Jared. Thanks for the piece of information. That
just in case you're trying to get some extra ones.
well,
like
not
you
only
said.
that, but if it's not working, it needs to be fixed. But the thing is, um, it may be one of the ones being replaced. I don't know. But the thing is,
Oh, I see. Oh,
it,
okay.
it may be one of those. But but we'll figure it out. And
Oh, so it's specific ones that need to be replaced.
yeah,
Right.
because see, the Cobra Head, the ones downtown are what they call Cobra Head.
Mhm.
NICEAG owns all the streetlights.
Right.
They actually essentially rent them out to the village. We pay for the electricity and so on, but they replaced all the Cobra Heads in several phases over the last 10, 12 years, and recently as 2 years ago. But they couldn't do what they call post top. Now they have now they can do the post top, and so we latched on to that program, and that's where we're at.
Oh, okay. I see. Thank you.
Okay. Another piece of new business. You may recall we had a meeting with DOT on January 7th, over 2 months ago, about the new bridge coming in on Route 11. And then we didn't hear from them. And so last week I reached out to them again and basically said, we haven't heard from you. What we're going? And so they were happy. I reopened the communication lines, and we'll actively communicate with them so that we keep getting village input on that new bridge. And Jarrett, just so you know, the DOT is committed to replace the Route 11 bridge, but that will probably be, the construction will be a few years down the road as things go with DOT. But meetings have started. They've got they're putting their team in place, and we'll continue to have input. Got a call today from Aubrey Peterson, who you will recall had an outdoor craft fair last summer in August. We had COVID protocols in place, so there was spacing and so on. And by all reports, it was a success. She wants to do it again. And she wanted me, she knew I wasn't going to continue being mayor, but she wanted to know that I would pass the message along. And I told her to be happy to. And it's likely that the COVID restrictions will be very similar um, uh, when we get to it, but the procedure would be pretty much the same. So she was happy, and I said we'd be, we accommodate that. Another piece of news, we received the good news last Thursday evening. I got an email. We received, we're going to receive the $5,000 designation grant from NYSERDA. We qualify because we're a clean energy community. We've got some forms to fill out, and once they get the forms, we'll get the actual check in a couple weeks. The check will be used. This check we're going to use to get a new furnace down at the village barn, village garage. So that's much appreciated. And as you know, we've got other energy situations going, which I won't talk about now, but we've got a good start here. Upcoming dates, I told you about the burn ban that same day, March 16th, our village election, 12 to 9 p.m. Village election, next Tuesday. We're going to have our next budget meeting isn't until Monday, March 29th. We've got the numbers that we need at this point. There's no real sense taking up time with meetings until we get more numbers towards the end of the month, and we can have a final discussion before um, the board changes its shape here, and we move into the new fiscal year. So, well, it won't be the new fiscal year, but it'll be new election year. The fiscal year is June 1, but this would be a good time to have our last budget um, meeting this month. It would be the 29th. That's it. That's all I have for new business. Does anybody else have any comments, questions, advice, what have you? I'm glad to hear that some of our people who've had COVID in the family or sickness in the family are improving and coming around. And we feel for all those that still are sick or have lost their loved ones. But the good news is vaccination rates are continuing to rise, and that's excellent news. Some of us here have had 2 shots, and some of us are getting shots, and some of us are soon to get shots. So that's all good news. Did that, Linda, is that one still on mute?
Nope, Kinley signed off.
Signed off. We
Don't
have
know
a
who
miss.
Kinley was.
Well, just a mystery there. Just a mystery. Maybe we'll find out sometime, and maybe we won't.
Do you know whether the school is still requiring government students to?
I don't know, Bob. I haven't
I
heard.
haven't heard that. Maybe Danielle knows. I don't know, but maybe that was a high school student and that's why they just listened in on the meeting and didn't
Yeah.
Maybe.
say anything.
Don't know whether it was a first name, last name, nickname, any that don't know what Kinley actually stood for, but we may never know.
Kinley was here.
Well, I must say, we got through this one a lot quicker than I thought we would. I hoped that we would, but I didn't know that we would.
I really thought it was going to be longer too, David.
Yes. I'm happy that only Chris from Bird Adams showed up. That made that a lot easier.
So are you done? Are you adjourning the meeting then, David?
So you may want to adjourn it.
Yes, I wanted to keep it open for comments okay, I will follow your advice. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jarrett.
Okay,
Good,
thanks for
Jarrett.
coming, Jarrett.
Take care, everybody.
You
Okay,
too.
you too.